Good evening once again. Welcome to another presentation of our broadcast here in the Issues Room. I'm Volcano Shelton. Today is the 222nd edition. This evening we have a guest in the house, Mr. Adolphus McCritty. He will be our studio guest to talk about Liberia's infrastructure, particularly the bridges, the Johnson Tucker Bridge, the St. Paul River Bridge, the Doo River Bridge, the Farmington, and other things. We're also going to talk about the Ravensville Highway. What is his impression from an engineering perspective? In addition, we're going to be looking at the protest from partners, and I use the word partners because I want to be careful here. People continue to say the wives of AFL soldier. I don't think all of those women were married, and I don't think every AFL soldier is married. So I would just say the partners, female partners of military men in the Armed Forces of Liberia who protested in different parts of the country uh, regarding certain things that they put before the president when he met with them. For instance, they talked about salaries, they talked about healthcare, they talked about education, living condition, and all of that. But more importantly, they wanted the president to retract his appointment confirmation of retired General Prince C. Johnson as the National Defense Minister. The argument is that he has not cared for the military personnel in the army, and there was no need for him to be considered as Defense Minister, Republic of Liberia, in this new government. The president is also out of the country. He traveled today to Accra, Ghana, to meet with the Ghanaian president, and I believe it's a 2-day working visit. What does it mean? Could he be garnering support to deal with all of the issues now trending in the country from one thing to the next? Just within 21 days, so many things going on. So we'll be talking about those things. But again, I'd like to welcome you. Please share the link. Please invite others here to join us. It'll be a good conversation, good conversation, especially when it comes to the infrastructure of our country. You and I know that many of these public infrastructures have been built for years and with poor or no maintenance. And there's a need to talk about what can be done as we move forward. Some of those instruments were designed and built for the population at the time, but Liberia's population has exponentially grown from 1.5 million to about 5.2 million, according to the recent census. So we cannot have infrastructure considered shrined national infrastructure that are obsolete to the time of our population growth. So we're going to be discussing that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here again, Volcano Shelton. Wherever you are, welcome to the show. Let me bring in our studio guest, Mr. Adolphus McCritty, Senior. He's always on Facebook. He's shown a lot of missteps that is going on, especially when it comes to national development through the Ministry of Public Works. He says that there's a lot of less attention being paid to some of the folks that they use as contractors to design and deliver on these national development infrastructure. Mr. McCrader, welcome. This is not your first time. We've been here before, but this time around, we have a new government. The We Are government did not pay attention. It is the hope that the continued conversation around the improvements in designs and build of our newer infrastructure will mean more if it can be done within the confines of true engineering. And as an engineer, you have made this an important element of your day to day. We follow you on Facebook. You're always weighing in, you're sending pictures, and I will try to see if I can find some of those pictures. But just before you come here, Alphonso just joined us. Let me just bring him in studio. quickly, Alfonso, you always have problem with your headroom, my man. You want to go in the ceiling? Let me
Don't
know.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll fix the hair room.
Okay,
Is it
welcome.
better? Mr. McCritty, how are you? Thank you.
I'm
Thank you for
fine. How
coming.
you doing, Alfonso?
I am good.
Good to
Thank
see
you.
you
Good,
again.
good to see you again. Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so this is my critic as I was saying. So let's just start this conversation around first the most important one that was addressed in the president's inaugural address. Not actually the inaugural address, but the SONA to the Senate with regards to the expansion of the Johnson Tucker Bridge. I think we know that I don't think it's doable, but from your perspective as an engineer who knows the history of the bridge, is it doable to begin the conversation?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much for having me again to shed some light on what I think should be the way forward. Um, there are a lot of things that have been going on in this country, and some of us are fortunate enough to have lived through from the genesis of what we see now and from the genesis and comparing it to what we see now is very disheartening because we know that those who were there before us, they put a lot of efforts into creating an environment that would hopefully be beneficial to the generation that will come after them, and that particular generation would take it from where they left off and take it on to even a better state of affairs. But over the last 18, well, I'll put it back as far as 40 some years back, we see nothing has been done. Nobody has paid any attention to this infrastructure. It's like it is the assumption that these infrastructure are supposed to take care of themselves. But these things are built with the intention of they being routinely maintained, and they are not. And for me, as an engineer, as an architect, to see these things go to waste and do nothing, there are a lot of other people who, like myself, see these things. But for some reason or the other, they prefer to be silent and say nothing. And you see, the generation in Liberia now, they really don't know that much about the history of this country. They don't know the history of what they see now. They just see it as it is and assume that's how it's been all along. And this is wrong. This is very wrong. And you know, the people there at Public Works, I am unfortunately, I am the most hated person at the Ministry of Public Works. For what? I don't know. Because I'm the kind of person I call a spade a spade. I was trained to do certain things the professional way. Because when it comes to these things, there's only one way to do it, and that's the professional way. And if you want to be a political engineer, then you have no prerogative in attaching engineer to your political arena. Just call yourself a politician who happen to be in charge of whatever. And the reason why, the primary reason why I make all these posts about things I see is to make the public aware that these things are not supposed to be like this because the people don't know. And if you don't know, you would assume that this is how these things are supposed to be. Take, for example, Tucker Bridge. The reason why I'm passionate about Tucker Bridge is because, number one, Gabriel Tucker was a mentor for me. Gabriel Tucker Winston, the late Winston Richards, uh, Aaron Milton. All those guys are fellows that when we were in high school, we aspired to be like them because of their professionalism and how dedicated they were to their profession. So, and you see all the efforts, it's just being desecrated. Tucker Bridge right now, if you go there, you will see people living underneath that bridge. All kind of makeshift stuff is being built around there. The guardrail, the precast guard railing fell off, or somebody hit it off, or something. It's just lying there. And we have minister after minister. I am betting my head. None of them have taken the time to stop. Let me go see what's going on with this particular structure here. The Tucker Bridge in 2009, all the drainage outlets that existed or that exist on that bridge were clogged. Then the finger joint, the finger joint that's attached to both ends of the bridge. Now these finger joints are placed in there simply to allow the bridge to expand and contract in with during various weather conditions. Now, if you remove, if you go and remove, you allow people to vandalize this thing and steal it, what will happen? Dirt and debris and everything else going to fall in between the gap that exists between the allowance there was. So to allow the bridge to be able to contract and expand. And if dirt is there, I mean, tons and tons and tons and tons of dirt is there, the bridge wouldn't be able to move. Now there are rollers that are placed underneath the ends of the bridge, or both ends, and these rollers are there to allow the bridge to move back and forth as the condition exists. These rollers have corroded. It's like you have a hinge on a door, and the hinge becomes so rusted, the door would not be able to swing in or out. The door would just be stagmatic. Now, I'm told that they have a bridge unit at the Ministry of Public Works. Okay, given that, what are they doing? Are they going and making periodic visits to these bridges to make sure they are functioning properly? Let's say they did, or they've been doing it. But when you go and see the condition as it is, what do you do about it? What do you do about it? Do you just turn a blind eye and say, oh, make your report, oh, we went there? What did you do when you went there? Or they don't go there at all. Let's retract back to the bridge over the Dew River. There's something called, in the engineering term, it's called scouring. Scouring is when the foundation, not the foundation, but the fill dirt around the abutment of the bridge is what when the water, high tide, low tide, or rainy season, dry season, it drops. The dirt that's underneath there, or the earth that's underneath that abutment, it washes back into the river. So the foundation of the abutment is just hanging on its own weight. So if you're driving from Monrovia going to Rouse, and get onto the carriageway of the bridge, you will experience a big bump before you get on the bridge. Now, how many people have gone across that one particular bridge, going back and forth, traveling, and you feel the bump? Questions supposed to enter your head. Why is there a bump here? The bump is there because the approach slab is sinking. It's sinking below the elevation of the bridge. So you go down and you go up on the bridge. The same thing exists on the other end of the bridge. And that particular bridge there at the Do River is a steel bridge. It has steel beams spanning from one end all the way to the other end. The rollers that those steel I-beams are sitting on, they are all corroded. No way for the bridge to move.
And
So it's just
why you say this quickly, particularly that bridge, from what I have seen, I don't think there's any support structure on the mainland that supports the bridge. I believe everything is the pillar under the bridge.
no
Like when you see, I'm coming quick. Like when you see bridges here, you can see the what do you call it, the cables are stretched across the river all the way to the mainland where the foundation those cables, and they run them across. Those are hanging bridges. I'm just giving an example. So you more or
suspended
less,
bridges.
yeah, so you more or less don't have anything in the river or in the water. I'm looking at the shuffling bridge. I don't think that we have anything that's supporting it on the ground. Like for instance, maybe 20 feet away of 100 feet away from the river banks.
Okay, you know, all bridges got what they call abutment. That's what the bridge anchors on.
Okay.
Then it depends on the span of the bridge. If the span is maybe 60 feet, 80 feet, what have you, there's an intermediate support that at mid-span it rests on.
Yes. So maybe in
Okay.
the case of the shuffling bridge, it could be in the river.
Yeah, that there's a support tower on it in the middle of that particular bridge. But guess what? Right at where that abutment is, that support is, a missile during the war fell on that on the if you're going towards town from Ralphie is on the left hand side. There's a big hole there. You can see the river from that hole. And it's right about where the mid-span support is on that particular bridge. I've I've walked underneath that bridge before. I've taken pictures of that. I made a report on that entire bridge there back in 2010, commissioned by the former minister Kofi Woods. He asked me to do an assessment of that. I did a report. I submitted to him. What happened to that report? To this day, nobody knows.
And you know the
Okay.
interesting thing, gentlemen, presidents are driving on that bridge, going
Yes.
up
Yes.
and down, inviting foreign guests, foreign presidents, foreign international guests on that very bridge. And no one seems
And
to
that is the
prioritize the importance of the bridge. But let's hear
that
from you
is
guys.
the in the city.
Yeah, Mr. McCritty, my colleagues may want to ask you some questions. Let's start with Alfonso.
Sure.
I was muted. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so definitely it's good to have you. The infrastructure of the country is very important, especially our road network that contains our bridges, because those are really the drivers of commerce and trade and movement of goods and services and people. So if those things do not exist, there's no way the economy can thrive, and there's no way people can really be productive. So that's it's very important every now and then to have somebody who's an expert in the area to remind people and remind governmental authorities about this and the need, to invest in this infrastructure. I know the last time you were here, one of the things we talked about was that I don't remember the name, but the engineering association, whatever it was forming. Um, how far has that gone? Because if you're together, if you're formed as some interest group, you might be able to, to impact and convince government, especially now that we have a new government in place. So how far have you all gone in terms of organizing yourselves? Because I mean, one of the things that this president wants to do, one of his platform is road construction. Right? I'm assuming that your profession wants to play a role, even if they have international funding, at least to play a role in that process. So, in terms of organizing yourselves and being able to reach out to the new leadership, how far have you gone with that?
Well, um, last year before the election, we had an act, the Engineering Act and the Architects Act, that was passed by the Senate and presented to the president for signature, which he signed. So it has been enacted into law now that the Liberian Institute of Architect and the Engineering Society of Liberia are now a legal body that can, authoritatively make decisions as far as who is supposed to practice engineering in this country, who is supposed to practice architecture in this country. They will regulate those individuals. Okay, it was just passed. Right after that, we had a change of administration. So I am pretty sure that the leadership of those two entities are in the process of reaching out to the new administration, introducing themselves now as a legal entity. So that's how far it has gone. So, how will this new administration embrace it is up to them. If they place priority on supporting professionals in this country, fine. And one of the biggest setback that previous administrators have made is that they did not place priority on professionals. As a result, every Tom, Dick, and Harry were passing themselves as architect engineering. Okay, that's the reason why you see so many substandard structures floating the whole country. That's why you see almost every building it looks like the next building. There's no innovation. There's no design because I mean, if you take a student to design your office, yeah, he can go on the computer and go do AR, not even AR, excuse me, or go do the design software and come up with a pretty building. Okay, coming up with a pretty building is one thing, but
But
if that building,
sorry, I'm not
if,
cutting you off. That's what they're doing now. That's how they're fooling the
yes,
people here in America.
yes,
They're doing little
yes,
schematics on a computer and design it and put some car and flower and say, I can build this building for you, and you get solar on it. That's the
but
new speed.
here is the trade-off. With an architect, the architect knows how that the users of that building will function, how they will relate to the use of that particular building. But the student or the draftsman would not know. He would place a toilet here. He would place the office next to a toilet. He would take the stairwell and put it outside the building. What is happening now in Liberia, and I think is the 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 clients are dictating to these people who they come to get drawings for. I want it this way. I want it that way. But if you went to a professional, you want it this way, but it cannot be done this way because it is not the professional way to do it. You must have your elevator centrally located within a core where you have your stairwell, your mechanical room, your electrical room, all that located in one area. The people now are putting stairway outside the building because they want to maximize on the interior space. That's the only reason why.
All right.
You see?
Moses, I know you want to come in. I just wanted to tell the audience here that these are photos from the Gabriel Johnson Tucker Bridge when it was being built over the Stockton Creek and the Maserado River.
Yeah,
This is,
that was the first pier they built. It's
yeah.
sitting right in the middle of the island there.
So
Okay?
so so let me
It's sitting
just
right in the
read.
middle of Providence Island. You can see the old Viton Bridge in the background. That was the first segment they built. Now, if you look at both ends of the image you see, you will see some rigs. Those rigs are there to attach the segments, each segment, as they go along the span of
So
the
it was
bridge.
like stacking up boxes.
Exactly. That's why they call them box girder.
Oh, okay.
Okay. After, when the whole when they assemble all those girders together, segment by segment, from one end to the other end. Okay, as you can see, okay, you see definitely you see how they're stacking it up there.
Wow.
Then they got holes. If you look at the picture carefully, you will see holes on each of those fins.
Yeah,
Now those
where
holes,
the steroid, yeah, yeah, like you
yeah,
see.
no, these are not steroids. These are cables.
Okay.
These are cables.
Hmm.
And at the end of each, the one end, this is the fixed end of the cable. On the other end is after all together. They use hydraulic jack to pull those cable into tension. That's why they call it post tension. After everything is assembled, they pull it together. Like if you can imagine the bead that those women put around the waist. They take the string and pull the string through the holes in the bead. When you get all the beads where you want it, you pull it tight and it holds the beads together in place. So now, if you tell somebody you're going to expand this, that means as soon as you touch it, it will snap. The cable that's holding it together, it will snap.
So
There's no glue or
were
there's
these
no
things built? Were these things built overseas and brought here and assembled?
no. They Tucker Bridge, all those pieces were manufactured, were precast right here.
Okay.
As they made it, they truck it to the site. As it was made, they sent it to the site to be assembled.
Hmm.
Mr. McCritty, are you suggesting that the Tucker Bridge um, cannot be extended? If you extend it, if the cable will snap?
Tucker Bridge cannot be expanded. What they can do is to build another bridge separate from Tucker Bridge. Because Tucker Bridge is already tension. It's already in tension already. And it's in a stage what we call in engineering terms is the structure is in. It will
Please,
collapse.
please say that
The
again.
segment will break off.
You were breaking up when you say in engineering. What is called? What is the condition of Tucker Bridge now that it can be
Relax.
expandable? It's in
It's in a
relaxed.
relaxed state.
Okay.
So if the only thing they can do is to build another bridge right beside it. And you see, for example, Tucker Bridge right now is a two-lane highway. The support that's underneath that bridge was designed to support that particular weight. If you go add additional weight to it, what will happen to the foundation? I mean, it's just like you design a building to hold 5 floors. Then all of a sudden you decide, I'm gonna make it 10 floors. What will happen to the foundation? Or what will
Of
happen to
course, it
the
can
building when you
crumble.
put it will crumble.
Yeah.
So nobody should even phantom the idea of expanding Tucker Bridge. It's impossible without this demolishing that Tucker Bridge. Or you build another bridge right beside it with a separate foundation.
this new public work minister, is he a member of your architecture society?
No, not that I know of. He's not
Okay.
member of the Liberian Institute of Architects. I don't know if he's a member of the Engineering Society of Liberia. That I don't know. But I know that he's not a member of the Liberian Institute of Architects because I am a member of the Liberian Institute of Architects. And I basically know almost everybody who's in that organization, having served as president before in up to 2016. But I do know that he's not a member of the Liberian Institute of Architects. Now you see the finger joints that I was telling you about. You see, you see it as it looks now. This thing is not moving. The space in between there allows the bridge to move back and forth freely. But you see the debris that's there.
So you mean this gap that is showing debris goes in there and then it kind of constrict the breach from its
Yes,
flexibility.
yes. Dirt, debris,
And
garbage,
So
whatever
when
goes
Emmanuel
in that
come in,
hole
Mr.
when the
so
gut is
McCritty.
open.
so this gap right here that you're looking at should be covered. This gap rather should be covered.
They should replace those finger joints. Covering it up simply would not help because the bridge has to move. That's why you see, if I want you to do one small experiment for me. Put both of your hands together and interlock it, okay? And move them in and out. And for example, yeah, just like that. And if you push
It becomes
one
difficult.
hand to meet your where the joint begins and it sticks there, it stays there. You won't be able to move your hand back out. The same principle.
Who's this coming?
The same
Yeah, so
principle.
Mr. McCready, I want to say
Yeah.
it's a pleasure to meet you again. And as I listen to you, what stood out to me is that the prevailing situation in the country regarding the bridges, public housing, private homes. In summary, would you say that we have a national security crisis?
Well, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say a national security problem. We
Mhm.
have a serious infrastructure problem, a serious infrastructure deficit.
Okay. You know, I asked you this question because, take for example, you talk about the condition of the Gilbert Tucker Bridge and other bridges around the country. When you're driving, all these, the way the bridges are poorly managed, that condition pose serious security risks, right? Because people could be driving in the numbers and anything can happen. The
Anything can
bridge
happen
or
at
any
any
of these
time.
bridges can just
So,
disintegrate, and that would be a national disaster, right?
so I
Okay,
think I think you should capture
go
the
back
word
to
is
the
not
old
coverage.
Vitam, go back to the old Vitam Bridge.
Yeah, like what we experienced in
Fortunately, it,
Vietnam,
fortunately, it happened at night when no traffic were on that bridge.
right?
Imagine if it had happened at rush hour with a lot of cars going. I mean, these bridges fail worldwide because of various reasons. But just imagine in our case here in Liberia,
Mhm.
if that had happened during rush hour traffic, how many lives would have been lost? So
Several.
these are reasons why people take precaution to prevent these kind of things from happening. And if you do, they say a stitch in time saves nine. And
Mhm.
these bridges are not meant to just stay there and take care of themselves. No,
Is
man made it, and man has to take care of it.
would you describe the current situation as abandonment? People
Yes,
people people neglecting what need to be done, right?
yes,
And what would be
emphatically
your
yes.
advice to national government at this time? Because this is very scary. It's very, very scary. What can be done immediately to salvage the current situation?
what they need to do is, first of all, establish a very, 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 very professional bridge unit at the Ministry of Public Works, or you create a Ministry of Roads and Highway. That ministry dedication is only towards roads and highway. Forget about everything else. But you put people there who are professional with years and years and years of experience in bridge management and bridge construction. You see, I mean, it's like the the uh, the Caldwell Bridge that was built to alleviate the traffic on that single bridge there. When that bridge was built, I can bet there was nobody from whatever to have oversight on that particular bridge. Because if they had, it wouldn't have been ended up in the present state it is now. First first thing I noticed about that bridge, when the wherever company, Chinese or Japanese or wherever, made a presentation to the government about the span of that bridge, they had a very nice picture of how the bridge will look when it's completed. If you compare what was presented to what was built, completely different. What was built is a lot shorter than what was presented. So now, who is there to ask that question? Why you told us you come and build 60 feet bridge, for example? What we got is 40 feet. What happened to the other 20 feet? Same thing with the new Vitam bridge that they built. Same thing. But the real problem is these. That's the reason why I make a lot of these Facebook posts, because the people don't know, and if you don't know, you would not know what to ask. The question you need to ask, you would not know these things. Who knows that Vitam, the new, I now forget the name they put on Vitam Bridge, but who would know or ask question? That bridge is supposed to be, for example, 100 feet. That's why you're told it was going to be 100 feet, but the bridge is only 80 feet. Who's supposed to ask that question? What happened to the 20 feet? Nobody's asking the 20 feet.
Yeah, somebody put the money in the pocket. The 20 feet money, somebody put it in the pocket.
But it is not supposed to be like that if you had professional people in charge of oversight.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the current thing that's going on. Go back to that picture there again. The one you had before this.
Yeah, I'm coming to it.
So, Mr. McCready, why
Okay, hold still
volcano?
right there. Let me ask the question. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Why volcano is trying to get this set up? I was just wondering from your work as a professional and giving all these problems that we have with our bridges around the country. Why you think that our public officials, the legislature, the guys at the Ministry of Public Works, why are these people so indifferent to this pending crisis we're talking about?
That is the $1,000,000 question that I find very difficult to understand. You have people who are parading. I got 10 master degree. I got 25 master PhD. I got this and that, that. I got so many degrees. But what the hell is your degree doing when you're sitting down there and what you're supposed to be doing is in disarray?
I'm
What
telling you.
good is what good are your degrees?
I
To
think
me, degrees want to be hung on the wall.
I think the whole idea here is Liberia is so reactionary. That is why something got to be of disastrous in nature for us to act. Fire
Okay.
service doesn't come to Sir Joseph's house, it burns down. I'm sure now he will be concerned that when they call the fire service director or who the new director is, when the man say we are underfunded, there's no money in the budget, he will reflect on all his things that he lost and say, my people, gentlemen, you gotta put money in the budget for fire service. The Vietnam bridge fell. Thank God nobody died. Thank God there was no calamity, but we decided to build one. The Johnson Tucker Bridge that we just saw here, that kind of bridge, I don't think they build them anymore. That looks scary. Now that I know that Johnson Tucker Bridge, look at that, they'll put me down on the other side of the road. I will walk by now and go across because I don't want to be.
But you get me walking, my man, and preach can stay crumble.
Okay.
So I mean,
Chairman, the photograph you have on display right now, that is called a curb inlet. That is next to the Tucker Bridge on both sides. That's where to. Okay, now this particular structure here, if you drive along the Japanese highway or Ralphie highway, they want to do you, name it, you would never see something like this. And this is a standard drainage outlet. A standard drainage outlet. Dirt can never go. The garbage that you see in the drainage they got now, it can never enter here. Okay? Why you don't see this on the highway they're building now? The Ralphie highway they're doing now. And I continue to say that Ralphie highway, whoever is doing it, I don't know them. I don't know how they got to do it. But whatever they're doing there will be a future problem for a generation to come to do anything to improve that highway to make it a 21st century highway because of the method, the means and method of which they are constructing that highway. Okay, development along that highway there will be very, very difficult. First thing you will notice if you're driving on that highway, which is now reduced to a 2-lane highway. Why they chose to demolish on both sides of the highway, it behooves me. But be that as it may, when you look on one side, you got maybe a 12 to 16-inch drop between where you're driving and the one down there. Or suppose you're driving, like I saw one guy yesterday, the poor guy taxi went in the ditch. His whole front axle broke. Who is responsible to fix his car? Whoever built that highway like that? They're supposed to put safety barrier to prevent motorists from entering that ditch they created there. Now you see officials driving up and down and seeing it like that. There's no safety barrier. But nobody says a darn thing. And this is what pisses me off. Is that people see hazard. They go by in a tinted SUV with police escort. They are not being affected because the people open corridor for them to pass. But the average person, the average Joe Blow, he go down there and his axle breaks or somebody falls in there. What reason they have? None. Because they are not politically connected. This is wrong. This is completely wrong. This falls back to, first of all, it falls back to the contractor. It drops back to those who have oversight, which I am assuming is the Ministry of Public Works. How you can be an engineer, you see that kind of hazardous condition going on, and you say nothing. You drive by as if to say it's normal.
so what's
This is the
laying
problem I have.
quickly, what's laying there is one of the banisters of the bridge.
Yes, that's
fallen.
one. No, that's the guardrail.
Is
Okay.
that the Ralphie highway?
No, this is Tucker Bridge on the
Oh,
on the right hand side going towards Vital.
Look at all the cracks in the bridges.
That's the sidewalk. Now, how can you not see this as a professional? How can you not see this and say no? This is not supposed to be like this. Somebody got to do something to fix it because the public safety is at stake. How can you see a guardrail, a precast guardrail like this, laying down some in the middle of the step, and you say no? Man, Labrador problem is hard to talk. You
So
can't. This is garbage underneath Tucker Bridge. Garbage.
this is appalling.
And people live underneath there. First of all,
So
you see the Tucker Bridge and St. Paul Bridge. They go spray paint the thing with they paint the guardrail with red, white, and blue. That's a pre-stressed concrete. There is supposed to, what we call in engineering term, exposed aggregate. You're not supposed to paint that thing. You're supposed to get a pressure washer,
yeah.
or sand blasting machine and clean that thing. You can't put paint on it because it was designed to breathe.
So, Mr. McCready, Alfonso, quickly, just let me ask Mr. McCready this question. Are you telling us tonight, given all these technical observations that you have made, are you telling us tonight that we have a leadership deficit at the Ministry of Public Works? We have a leadership deficit even in the legislature when it comes to oversight, given the appalling condition of bridges in the country. Do we have a leadership deficit?
I I, I assume so, and I can emphatically say yes. Because, I mean, for example, you have the senator calling the Ministry of Public Works in, a minister of public works in, to question him because of so and so. Most of the time, it's about financial transactions. It's never about why are these conditions existing as they are. It's mainly about X amount was provided, X amount of money was provided, and we don't see the southeastern highway is not paved, and this the road nobody working on it, but nobody calls to find out why are these structures in such a disarray. You see the image you're showing now. That is the old St. Paul Bridge. The
Hmm.
part that's in the middle were train tracks.
Mm.
That's where the train coming from Bummy Hills and the river used to cross over to go to the port. Okay? And then when the train is coming, they block the traffic on each end for the train to pass. When the train pass, the car come back over there. In 1979, when the new bridge was opened, this particular bridge was just abandoned. It's still structurally sound that could be used as an alternative route. You could create a highway from here running straight through Banjo all the way back to Port River. Just follow the railroad track. This particular coming into town, you could create using this particular bridge. You could create another a route from where it ends up at St. Paul Bridge. I mean St. Paul River, coming all the way to Waterside. That eases the traffic from the main road they're using now and divert some of the traffic to this particular bridge. But it's sitting there, rotting away.
Mr. McCritty, just before Alfonso comes, just address this question from one of our members here in the audience. He wants to know whether the Ministry of Public Works has an annual, biannual, or whatsoever bridge inspection and maintenance monies put into the budget approved by the legislature. Do you think anything like that exists or did exist at Public Works, where there's annual inspection, but some money is put in the budget just to have people go around, do the findings, record, and then come and write a report and say these are the things that we need to do to address the deplorable or dilapidating conditions of our bridges?
That I don't know for sure.
Okay.
What I do know is that when Kofi, he asked me to come in and help him to monitor these bridges and why. I created a website, and that website was called the Liberia Bridge Management Associate Bridge Management Company that was going to be like a surrogate of the Ministry of Public Works. And that particular website would have listed every single bridge in this country. And it would have detailed information as to when it was built, the current condition, when it was last maintained, so where you could go online and every bridge was going to be assigned a number. You could just plug in that bridge number, and all the particulars of that particular bridge will be available to you or to anybody else. And the people that work at public work, they would know the last time that bridge was maintained, what was done to it, and the current state, and they will log it in and record it. Or you want to go to Riverside, for example, or to Buchanan, you could log in and find out what's the condition of the bridge that crosses the St. John River there. But this is not happening. Minister in, minister out. Why don't they think about this thing?
Thank you, Alfonso. And honestly, can you
Let me
imagine? We have had $1.2 billion in debt increase in the last government. Prior to that, almost 900 million or more. So we now indebted 2 point something billion, and yet we don't have infrastructure to show for it. But we can see personal properties erected. People
aha.
showcasing, their properties here in America, go on shopping spree, riding private jets. This is unfortunate for that country. I don't
It's
know.
very unfortunate.
Well, Alfonso, I just wanted to point out upcoming, brother.
Yeah, no, important point. I mean, I wanted to take Mr. McCritty back, and the reason I want to take us back is if we don't build strong institutions, non-governmental institutions will never get anywhere in Liberia. It's these institutions, these professional bodies outside of government that can, put pressure on government to do the things that they need to do. For instance, to become a lawyer in Liberia, you have to take the bar exam, and you have to go through the professional body of lawyers. To become a CPA, you have to do something similar. I'm trying to take us back because I want to emphasize the importance of having a professional body of engineers that will certify people and make sure that the people who do the jobs on our public highways are certified. Public buildings and bridges and highway are certified to do the jobs. And also to make sure that our professional bodies, our architects and our engineers, have that power, that ability to be able to certify people, but to also attract resources towards these public infrastructure projects and programs. So, Mr. McCready, I wanted to see where push us back to see whether the law that was passed that you referenced, whether that law actually gives your professional body the same authority as is given to the bar association, for example, to certify lawyers to be able to practice in the country or CPAs to be able to practice in the country.
Yes, that law gives those two entities the authority to certify who can practice, who cannot, who can be an engineer, who cannot be an engineer, who can be an architect, and who cannot be an architect. But the thing here is, you can have all these laws on book, but the players involved in it, they alter the rules and regulations too much. For example, in Ghana, I live in Ghana actually, but I just come to Liberia back and forth to do contractual work. If you say you're bringing an engineering company to build the highway from Tema to Accra, and your company is coming from Japan or Russia or how you call it, please, North Africa, Tunisia, whatever. If your senior engineer is Tunisian or Russian or Japanese, the man directly under him must be a Ghanaian. Must, M capital MUST, be a Ghanaian. If your senior accountant is from wherever country you're coming from, the junior accountant must be a Ghanaian. And that law is strictly enforced. It is not so here in Liberia. It is not so. And this is a loophole that these people see and they just come in. Look, Japanese, the Rousey Highway. I drive on that highway most of the time because I have a lot of projects up along that corridor there. You will never see one engineer with a total station establishing grades and how you call it, offset or what have you with a total station like for example surveying equipment. You will see one Japanese man or Chinese man standing there with big wide hat on your head for a handful of pointy fingers. You will never see nobody none of them with a set of drawings to go by. You can't build a highway without no drawings.
So, Mr. McCritty, quickly, is this the taxi you said fell from the road?
Yes, exactly. See, the
Where
whole
was
front end
it?
before they go.
But,
You
but,
see how
Mr.
you,
but
you
Mr.
see how
McCritty,
frustrated and angry he is.
yeah, but
This is his bread and butter.
but
This
it
is what he
doesn't
used to
finish
feed his
already.
family.
Mr. McCritty, that doesn't finish already. That
That man is
doesn't,
literally crying
yeah,
because
but
he
it
knows he
doesn't.
has to shoulder the responsibility of fixing it
Mr.
by
McCray,
himself.
let also what I'm looking at here, you're right. You can see the whole frame is sitting on the asphalt. But come to think about it, this text is not even roadworthy. Mr. McCray.
Volcano,
Yeah.
I think the message Mr. McCready is sending is that how our country has become over the years in terms of failure to adhere to the rule of law. Like the writer indicated, that Texas should not be plying the streets of Monrovia.
Look at me test
It's
it.
not rule worthy.
Like,
So
Yes,
Mr.
and I'm
McCready is
pretty sure
saying
he
that
was trying to
our people
avoid
are
hitting
just
somebody.
looking the other way. Go ahead, sir.
I said I'm pretty sure he was trying to avoid hitting either a motorbike or a keke because the road is so small.
Yeah, and you should not have even been plying the highway,
But
but
if you think that is
everybody
bad, look
looking the
at some
other
of these
way.
trucks hauling 40-foot container from the Freeport to wherever. And
Mhm.
that is even more dangerous. It's tire smooth like the palm of my hand.
Hmm.
Like yesterday, I went to get a truckload of cross rock. They call the truck. It's like 6 blade of cross rock, almost like an 18-ton truck. They loaded the rock on the truck. The truck have four. I mean, one flat tire. The truck got dual axle. It had one flat tire on each axle. So I told you, I said, put my load down because you're not going to kill nobody. So he carry
So you say, "But put my load
just
down."
right. Still running.
the, man, the man said, I will
Yes.
carry your load. He said, he might put
I
it
said,
on.
no, you're not carrying the load. You put my enter the truck, dump the truck right now, find another truck to carry. One flat tire on each axle.
What?
So, Mr. McCray, whose bridge is this?
This is the old St. Paul Bridge. You see the steel member that I was telling you about? This is
Yeah.
the same type of construction that is done at the Do River Bridge using the steel web. This is
No.
So
St. Paul Bridge.
okay. So Mr. McCready, do a comparison here for us tonight. You as an engineer, you follow what happened in Liberia when it comes to maintenance and all of that during the Salif administration. And the George Weah administration, you also had the opportunity of monitoring situation in a country with reference to the maintenance of bridges and roads and all of that. Comparatively, uh, what would you say, you know, uh, regarding the two administration? What actually looked the other way and who was actually involved when making sure that at least some
Administration.
maintenance was provided. Do that comparison for us.
The two administration, the early administration, George Weah administration, you're looking at, carbon copy, carbon copy. For example, you had, let's start off with Willie Knuckles. We were the first public works minister after Ellen took over. What was the legacy he left behind? Nothing. Then he was replaced with Donzo, Lucini Donzo.
Yeah.
The one that
Okay.
they accused of eating the money in Vatan.
What was the legacy he left
Vatan.
behind at the Ministry of Public Works? Zero. Okay.
Mhm.
After he left, who have they put after Donzo? I think they
I
put
think Kofi,
yeah, that's when Kofi Woods took over. When Kofi Woods took over, the legacy he left behind
No.
was the maintenance of that Tucker Bridge there, because he made sure that bridge was clean. All the clogged drainage were cleaned out, all the dirt that in between that space I'm showing you right now.
Yeah.
He made sure it was clean. Then he left. The other one came there, Weeks.
Collins?
Weeks.
Oh, yeah, Weeks. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
What legacy she left behind? Nothing besides bourgeois. After she left, the other joker came in there. What his name? What's the boy name again? Judy
And now you're
Moore.
talking about we administration, right?
No,
No,
we stay
no,
on Ellen
no,
because Ellen was there for 12 years.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
Mabudu
Okay.
Yipa?
And Judy Moore came there.
Oh,
Judy
okay.
Moore got there, got up on the podium telling people that the ministry can build 2 miles of road per day. And then I made a comment, even Speedy Gonzalez not able to do that. Can you imagine you being an engineer and knows about road construction? Somebody can tell you they can build 2 miles of road per day.
Yeah, they.
What are you supposed to think?
And let the person they know what he was talking about.
Man, look at it.
Okay, that one back where he in legacy left behind said, I was very arrogant,
Okay.
so he would never deal with me
Okay.
or never associate with me. He left. Who got there now?
George Weah.
Yeah, George Weah administration.
Yeah, then he brought Mabutu.
Yeah, Mabutu.
Mabutu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yimpon.
Mabutu was an engineer. He tried.
Okay.
I would say that I would give him that credit. Peace be to ashes. He was trying, but he wasn't there long enough to do what needed to be done.
Okay.
When he left, they brought another one there. That on that bar.
Ruth Collins.
Yeah, I can only laugh.
Why?
Because-
Why would you laugh?
You know why I would laugh? Because when I made an assessment of the Rousey Highway, and people saw exactly what I was saying, photographs were, that road was a death trap. She got on the place telling people that nobody should listen to me because I'm a mayor plumber. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh wow.
She said, McCritty, that plumber. I don't listen to him. The next day, Minister of Transport vehicle fell in the hole.
Oh wow. So what the plumber talk about came confusion.
So now, a friend of mine was telling me the story that, okay, madam, you say you are engineer, you got degrees so in engineering. That man who say who you say, according to you, he's a plumber. But how come he know more about engineering than you supposed to be engineer?
You were Joe the plumber.
How come the plumber know more than the person who's supposed to?
Yeah, the person who say she's an engineer.
Mr. McCritty, let's come to the reality here quickly. I want us to come back.
That's why I like.
Look at this bridge right here. This bridge look like World War II, when
This bridge
the
was built
world,
in 1962.
And what bridge is this?
This is the old St. Paul Bridge, the one that the
Oh,
train
okay.
used to. Okay, now you see on
that's
the right hand side of your
that
screen.
OAU, that the one for OAU.
Okay.
Yeah, the one for, that's the one for AU.
Okay,
This
then
particular bridge is called a post tension box girder. It was built in segment. You see the support in the middle of the water, then there's another support on the back end there, and the final support on the land side,
yeah,
Yeah.
which is where the abutment is.
it's almost similar to that of Gabriel Tucker Bridge because they
Yes,
all were
very
built
similar.
simultaneously.
It's the
Okay,
same thing, identical.
okay, okay. So they are not expandable, like we said.
No, this one here is expandable. Okay, and the reason why it's expandable because you have this steel web that can be used as a support to widen this. Yeah, you see this steel web down here.
Mm-hmm.
They can be the slab on top of this can be demolished and a new slab cast on top of this web to make it wider. Yes, you can widen this to 4 lane,
But you
but
also
you
got to
can't do
consider
that to a,
But you also got to consider how durable would the steel web be at this time after
well,
all
the
these
steel
years.
web. I wouldn't have problem with the steel web. What I
Okay,
will have problem is the support because of the foundation, because it was designed for 2 lane. So if you're gonna do 4 lane, you have to
It's like you
buttress
have
the
to read
foundation.
from everything now.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to
So you
read
can't
from.
just wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, this
Yeah.
2 lane here will come and make it 4 lane."
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Alfonso.
Yeah. So, Mr. McCready, I know
Yes, sir.
you've been speaking in the past, but fortunately now we have two laws passed creating two professional organizations. What have in the midst of all of these things that are happening, has any of those organizations said something, done something, maybe write a report, maybe undertake a study of the maybe one or two other bridges to tell the Liberian people and the government the state of those facilities, as a way of creating awareness, but also putting pressure on the authorities, basically, and also just educating the public. The public might not know. For example, people living on a Gabriel Tucker Bridge, or people just painting the pillows under the bridge, and you say there's not even some painted. I'm sure people don't even know. But yeah, what can your organizations do going forward? A, to create awareness and also to put pressure. Because look at these photographs we're looking at here. Just public putting this thing in the public domain, just trying to bring it to the attention of the people, to the national legislature, to the president. That might help create a groundswell of public concern that might help to address the situations.
Well, actually, I really don't know because I'm not in any leadership position in either one of these professional organizations now to take the lead to do these things. Okay, but sometimes I ask myself, I am not the only engineer in this country presently. I'm not the only one. I am not the best. At least I consider myself not to be one of the best. Okay, because I mean I always leave myself open to, but the others that are here, I am the only one who speaks out against these things. So are they afraid of being sidelined? Are they afraid of being castigated because they will not get them government contract, or they will not be friends with their minister or so and so? As for me, I don't give a hoot because I do not depend on government contracts. I have never worked for government before, and I don't intend to work for government. But
Let's
I am a professional, and I see things as they are. I mean, if things were correct or of standard, I would have no reason to say "Fwing."
all right.
But
Let's
they are
just see.
substandard. The image you put is you got
That's what
on
I
the
want.
screen now.
Yeah.
This is the Japanese highway, the much celebrated Japanese highway. Am I right? This is the Japanese highway. Now, here's the mind-boggling question. This particular Japanese highway that is much celebrated, they built this thing here with drainage only on one side of the road. If you're driving from red light to Freeport, this drainage outlet is only on the right side. You coming from Freeport, going red light, the drainage is on the right side. If you think of just
So
drive
what?
it,
So what is this
ask
one in the
anybody.
middle? What is this
Uh,
one in the middle? Because I know that that way the people can throw all the dirt. This one in the
yeah,
middle.
this is you know the curb inlet that I showed you before on the Tucker Bridge.
Uh-huh.
This is what we call a drop inlet. This the their version of drop inlet. Now, if the water, excuse me, if water were running along as the water supposed to run, what would make it? Oh, the other thing, yeah, let me make a left turn to go inside the hole. That's not how water thinks. The water just think one way to go straight. That's why these drainage outlets are not working because the drainage are in the wrong places. But why the people who were supervising the job didn't tell you, go, no, don't put it in there, put drop in like that? Why? Look at
But if it
again.
was not part of the design, could they have changed it during the build?
This something that they crafted on the job.
Okay.
They made up themselves. This is not a stand. You will never find something like that in any Google search for curb inlet. You will never find something like that. Go on the Rousey Highway. These people got a junction box sitting right in front of a head wall. How is it possible? When these people, oh man, no, I mean it's so frustrating, man. You got a head wall facing directly somebody's property wall. There's another head wall facing directly in somebody's house. So where is the drainage supposed to go in the person house? And you have people of authority, people who boast about having 10 degrees in engineering, master degree. They already, why you don't see these things? Why? What use is your master degree or 10,000? What good is it if you say you engineer? So what good is it if you don't see these things? You see, you go to engineering school, not everything you learn there, you see it in the field. They don't teach you everything. They give you the basic to function in the real world. You know, they say not everything you learn in school. Some of these things you learn on right now. People are hiring people in America right now based on your experience.
Of course.
I, for one, when I was in America, I was doing construction. Well, not doing when I was learning construction. Okay, my supervisor was a junior high school dropout. That was my supervisor. The guy was making $30 per hour, but he knew his job. He knew how to build high rises. That's why he was employed. But come to this our little paradise here. Just come today, say I got 10 master degree, they put you in minister so on straight. What experience? Zero experience. And you can't tell me that you will leave the classroom in January, February, March, you become minister of this or that. There's no way.
Mr. McCritty, I definitely agree with you. Earning a degree in a spectator or in a discipline that does not make you an expert in that discipline. The work
No.
experience acquired over the years, you know, um, added on to your theoretical training make you an expert in your area.
Oh
Now, what
yeah.
I see here is that the problem of supervision, and
Moses,
this is where again we bring in the legislature, because there's a committee there that has oversight on public works, road construction. There's a
Yeah.
committee. There's
Yeah.
an engineering department at the Ministry of Public Works. It said that these people are not actually supervising what is happening in the country, or it said that foreign countries coming in, they say, "Hey, we're gonna build your road," and then the local engineers in the country are not actually giving that opportunity to play that, supervisory role, because the foreign the foreign country bring in their own people, and our people just take a hands-off approach and let them do what they got to do. Nobody care
Exactly.
because we are not investing into it. Is that
Yeah.
what happening?
Yeah. For example, the University of Liberia, okay, every year they put out maybe 1,500 engineering graduates, okay, from the engineering school. Where do those kids go? Where do they go? They cannot
No,
get job in these foreign big companies that come here. At the end of the day, I got about 4 or 5 of them who have graduated with engineering degree from University of Liberia, but they can't find jobs.
they go to Atai centers.
They have to end up doing menial job just to survive.
all right, let's talk
And
about
this is
this.
not right. You
Let's
can't
talk
go
about
to school for 5 years in one discipline and you can't find employment in your discipline.
let's
It
talk
is
about
not
this
right.
photograph here, Mr. McCritty. This photograph right here. Is this a truck head that is being towed by a pickup
Yes.
and the entire
The
chassis?
chassis, the chassis and the head of the cabin of the truck plowing the streets of Monrovia.
That's too risky, though.
But not
It's
only
too
risky.
risky.
Look at the picture.
Well,
This is Monrovia
who will
looking like
stop? Who will
wartime.
impound this vehicle and find
After
the driver?
20 years of
On
war, you still look the same. 20 years.
Mhm.
20 long years.
who is there to stop the man from doing what he's doing now? Nobody.
Nobody.
The police. You go find maybe 5 or 6, 7 yards. You'll see policemen standing right there. You just wait for the guy. Even if you stop him, you will just reach out and get less on him merry way.
Police got to eat too now, man. Police eat
Aha.
all day.
Yeah, you see, too much is taken
All
for
right, let me
granted
just
in this
quickly
world.
go to intermission as we continue the conversation. We got a second segment to go. So quickly, I just want to remind you, our viewers, that we are here in the issues room. If you just joining us, please share the link, invite others. We're discussing Liberia's breaches and other infrastructure, especially the road in the country being built within this new era. So many things that they're cutting corners, and our national infrastructure are not being treated, are not being monitored, are not being put on a renovation and maintenance. So we have Mr. McCritty here, Adolphus McCritty Sr., who is an engineer, Liberian engineer, that has been going around the country in many of the areas where he can take some pictures, and he posts these images on Facebook. And I thought to reach out to him to bring him here in studios to join us to have this conversation. And what really prompted this conversation was the fact that President Boaga, who is now the president of Liberia, mentioned in his SONA address that there are monies to be presented to expand the Gabriel Johnson Tucker Bridge. I said earlier that I didn't think that bridge was expandable based on the
It's not.
context in which the bridge was built. And while talking to Mr. McCready, he kind of buttressed my argument and thought to come here tonight. And that is what we're talking about. We'll go 15 more minutes because we have to go to the next segment to talk about the protest in Liberia over the weekend and yesterday by the partners of the Armed Forces of Liberia soldiers, because we want to take leave of Mr. McCready in the next 15 minutes so he can go to bed because it's late on his end there. So, Moses, come back in and then we'll go to Alfonso and let's try to wrap up in 15 minutes with Mr. McCready so we can go into our next conversation.
Look, what I want to say, I want to publicly use this opportunity, Mr. McCready, to tell you thank you for the voluntary work you are doing for our people. And I hope that anyone watching this podcast, and especially those who are in uh, position of trust, that they will begin to engage Mr. McCready and other Liberian engineers to save the current situation that we have, because when you see our bridges, you see our roads, I mean, the conditions are so terrible. They pose significant risk to the safety of our people. And I think it is important that people who occupy positions at the Ministry of Public Works put all politics aside and talk to Liberians who have the expertise to help you do your work. So, Mr. McCready, thank you for the good job you're doing. And I really hope that our national leaders will begin to engage you, instead of seeing you as someone who trying to undercut what they do. You
I
just
see him as a
trying
mad
to expose
plumber,
the problem.
a mad
Yeah,
plumber.
I mean,
Okay.
I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. And there are a lot of other people who will call me and tell me they appreciate it. But the thing about it, those people are in the minority, and they don't have who they look at me as the outsider. I'm trying to interfere with their operation.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to make the public aware of things that they should be aware of.
Yes.
I'm not, look, I will say it here, I'm not interested in Minister of Public Works. Minister, and that's not my priority. My interest is to see the country that I grew up in as a child, the Liberia I grew up in as a child, the things that I enjoyed. The children of today must enjoy those same things. That's my whole intention.
Thank you, sir.
So what is going on here?
Somebody said they're trying to build a bridge because I mean, and you can't make.
Mr. McCready said somebody say.
You don't know what, as they say in Ghana, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So the man using the cover.
You see, this is a place where this cover has no business being here.
Oh,
No.
wow.
No.
They should have put a cover over there.
Or build it with beam. Just build beam.
Yes,
Because this can
this
snap.
concrete pipe has no business being there. And look
But-
how they put the head wall.
Yeah, but look at
the
the
end of the end of the head wall is what we call the out. The out is higher than the outlet. So how
But-
the water supposed to back?
But I'm
Water
also
will not
look-
come and jump up and go inside the pipe.
I'm also looking at the outlet. It's just mere concrete that they put around the outlet
Yeah.
to join them. So there's nothing like you talked about the cables that went through the boxes that were being stacked with
No,
regards
but
to
this type of called they call it RCP, which is reinforced concrete pipe. Okay, it does not require cables.
No, I'm
Okay?
just giving you an example of that.
No, but what I'm about to tell you is that this is something that they should have used a belt joint. Now, in each one of those joints, they should have a rubber gasket that will secure the other pipe that's connecting to it. That will secure it into place. But there's no gasket here. You check it out, there's no gasket there.
So it's one of those projects that the politicians undertake, right? They build.
Yeah, somebody say every snow or something. What's up, bridge?
The representative or senator
Oh,
says,
you say who is building this?
Somebody
No.
just playing the same Edwin Snow or Sir Joseph Bridge.
And you see another thing that coming happen again. Now you see where the pipe is located, and you notice where the level of the water is upon it in front of it. How is the water supposed to go inside our pipe?
I tell you.
The
How?
water,
Because the water is lower
the
and
water
the
will
pipe
come.
is
It's
way
lower
up
than the
there.
pipe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
There's
at
no
dry
other way to
season,
do it.
the water will rise when it starts raining.
The water will jump.
So now, whoever so-called engineer they got on this particular one, that's the first question you will ask. But if you don't know, you will not know the questions to ask. Because you don't know, all you see people working a cover, oh, yeah, cover, put the cover there.
Hmm.
So, Mr. McCurdy, just from my end, my last question for you: what do you think that this Barca government should do? And the reason I'm asking this question, we can say we are didn't care because a young boy. But Barca been around for 79 years. He knows how the country was developed for the most part. He's been in public service, he's been in government. I'm sure he's aware of how many of these infrastructure were built and the importance of maintenance. How do you present to this president if he's watching? I know he's in Ghana, but there's a potential that some of his lieutenants are watching tonight. What do you say to him to change the trajectory for future development? We know that we are an alien that already made a mess. We have to live with it. All the money that was put to those projects, we don't see the real value for it. We only can see personal values, meaning people who spearheaded those projects got rich overnight. But going forward, since Mr. Barker said corruption is public enemy number one in his administration, what do you see happening for future development, future infrastructural development in the country? What do you say to this president?
Well, what I would say to this president is to make sure that whoever is doing his vetting, to put John Brown here, Peter Paul there, they need to make sure that they do their due diligence instead of just appointing somebody because they know that person. Okay? Uh, President Boyka knows my father very well. They are very good friends. They worked in government before. He knows about the work my father done in this country before he died. I have met with President Boyka on several occasions when he was vice president at the time. We sat and we talked over one or two things and we share basically the same sentiments. So I will hope that he does not forget about what we talked about in 2019. Okay? The country must be put first and foremost. The development of this country, because this country is not for us. We are here temporarily. The country belongs to the future generation. We have to prepare a way for them. Just like before 1944, when Broad Street was nothing but a dirt street, a dirt road, and old frame houses. Tottenham came in there and he put Tottenham Boulevard, that's why they got Tottenham Boulevard, from Central Monrovia all the way to Peansville. The next president now supposed to come and take it further. Which Tower came and he did his share. The next president should come take it even further. Okay, George Weah, wherever he did, good or bad, I don't have no problem with him. Wherever he did, wherever he stopped, it's up to Burka now to take it further. Don't go back. Take it further. And leave your mark. Leave your legacy. This is here because of the Boyka administration. This wasn't there before, but since Boyka administration came in, we got this, which is 10 times better than what was there before. Don't settle for 10 better than 0. Do not place too much emphasis in foreign donation. Chinese people come who will give you a grant. Well, the Capitol building, okay? The 15 ministerial complex, 5-town bridge, the other one. Those are white elephants. Those are political projects that last during for the duration of that particular presidential term. We develop a 50-year development plan that every other country in the world does have. 50-year development plan that one administration will follow through with. That's my word I would suggest to him.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to take leave of you now because we need to go in the next segment. Thank you so much. We'll have
Okay,
this conversation. We'll come back here momentarily as the road project for RIA goes on. We hope that you will take some pictures. I'll be, looking forward to having you here again with my
okay, will
brothers
be my
and have
pleasure.
this conversation. Thank
And
you so
thanks
much.
again for having me on.
Thank you.
It,
Thank you, Mr.
thank
McCritty.
you, sir, for the education provided tonight. Thank you so much for
You're most
coming.
welcome. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
This
you.
you.
is what it's all about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
educating the public.
Yes.
You
I,
Thank
know,
you.
I hope that
there
you
are some
also
things, I'm
spread
pretty
all
sure
of
there are some things
yeah,
people learn today they didn't know before.
absolutely.
A lot. A lot.
So this is
And
what
we
it's all
hope that
about,
our national
education.
leaders actually learn from you tonight.
I hope so, because that's the main point.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Good
Okay,
night.
thank
Thank
you
you,
guys.
sir.
You guys have a good night. We're gonna wrap
Yes,
it
man.
up.
Thank you. Yeah, okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
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 All right, so gentlemen, as you can see right now, we we have protester cooking in the middle of the Kota Road. They plan to come say they're protesting, they bring copart, they bring rest, they bring coal, then they say they're protesting. They block the traffic, they impede the progress of the nation, and they say they're protesting. Moses, Alfonso, this is not a new phenomenon. We saw this happen with the so-called COP rally, or what they call protests from Henry Costa. I think that was the time when they started bringing copart and stuff to the street and say they're
Mhm.
protesting and they blocked the road. What does this tell you? Are we a people ready to move forward, irrespective of our uh, concerns, the things that we say we want to put forth to government? Everything these people talked about is not a new phenomenon. These are existential things that are taking place time immemorial, and it's not just common to AFL, it's across every sector of the country. The nurses, the teachers, the doctors, the healthcare workers, the security people, police, fire service, all of these people, paramilitary statuses, or civil servants. Every sector of the country is plagued by the same thing: low income, lack of insurance, poor healthcare, lack of good education, lack of basic incentives, light and water, and all these things. But everyone didn't come out to blast this government except these ladies who were used as pawns by their husbands who were trying not to come across as portraying any form of insurrection or mutiny in the country. But the interesting thing here is when you take this picture and you throw it out there, these are not protesters. These are not protesting images here. They just came to block the road and cook. Because I look at it. I don't see them chanting. I don't see them like in society holding placards and stuff. What do you make out of this? And is this the new modus operandi? Because I'm hearing in the coming days there will be more protest. Why they didn't do it for 6 years to this magnitude and now they want to do it? It's a test of the strength and the might of the new president.
Well, uh, this is how I would like to start. Like you said, Volcano, the optics of what we saw in Monrovia yesterday and other parts of the country is very bad. It's a challenge to President Boakai and his team of leaders. What those people did was well coordinated. Uh, they did that with the acquiescence of their husbands and other individuals who support them. I would say those people transported them from one location to another, and they did everything they could to stall the process. You know, uh, I personally, if I were the president of the Republic of Liberia, yesterday, I would have given a directive to law enforcement to get those people off the streets of Monrovia. That's the first thing I was going to do. I was never going to reverse my decision appointing General Johnson as Minister of Defense. Because what the president has done and what the general himself has done has set a real bad precedent. That's what we call reinforcing negative behavior.
I want you to stop there quick and let me
Yes.
add this picture in here. So if these guys could come to meet with the president, because this is the president's compound,
Mhm.
and here are uh, key lieutenants within the army coming to meet with the president. Why couldn't they have done that prior to all of this? So my thought here and what I've been concerned about, if these women say our husband them sent us to come protest,
Yeah, and say
then
we leave until Johnson is out of the
then
way.
yeah, then why didn't the president summon the hierarchy of the military, even while they were demonstrating out there, to say, hey, where is this coming from? I need to know now because I'm about to move on to clear the street. Let's go from there.
Yeah, look, Volcano, let's look at the authority of the president. The president is the commander in chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia. It means the military is answerable to him. The president has the constitutional authority also to appoint at will and dismiss at will. What those people did yesterday and his decision to accept the resignation of General Johnson, that set a real bad precedent because tomorrow the guys from the Monrovia Consolidated School System will get in the street and they say, oh, well, we don't want our current superintendent. Unless the superintendent goes, nobody will be allowed to drive in Monrovia. Another day, you hear from the University of Liberia, unless the president of the University of Liberia goes, nothing will happen on the UL campus. Liberia is a country of laws, not of men. So, for a group of people to get together and try to challenge your authority, don't get me wrong. Their claims may have been legitimate, but that could have been handled in a better way than making a demand. They were not asking for help. Instead, they were making a demand, and the president allowed himself to fall for that. He set a bad precedent. Before I came to this podcast, I heard on one of the local network that there was a protest today in B Mountain. We are also told that other protests are being planned. Employees of the Liberian Electricity Corporation, I am told, are also planning a protest that, hey, Mr. Captain, you can't come back here. Our country should not be like that. We cannot live in a society that will become ungovernable. The question that will come, where is the leadership?
And so Moses,
Yes.
also going to come in now.
Yeah.
All of the women is just what they're doing, nothing. They just block the road, sitting down,
Basically,
cooking,
they were
put-
brought there by their
put- yeah,
husbands.
put army cap on and acting like to say they can stop this country from functioning.
Of course,
And I
that's
think
what they
I
did. It was
understand what you're saying.
deliberate.
I understand what you're saying here. When you look at the optics and the potential for a bigger crisis to ensue. So here's the hypothetical. Let me ask Alfonso this question. Open your mic, Alfonso. Here's the hypothetical. The hypothetical here is that we have probably a little under 3,000 members in the military. They send their wives out because they don't want to come across as challenging the government and become to be mutiny. And any insurrection they start, it could be a serious situation. But let's say Moses said that if he were president, he would send the paramilitary, which means the police, and to clear them off the street. What if things went out of hand and the military itself came out to fight back because it's right before the barrack? I'm sure they had other things under their sleeve before sending their wives to be pawned. What do you think that the president's decision to calm and quench the situation was wrong? Does it mean that he caved in to tension, or he was just looking at, let's continue to keep the peace? There's always another day to act.
Yeah, I think in a democracy, the right to protest is sacrosanct. I mean, that's the fundamental um, civil right in a democratic society. However, the way they went about it, in as much as you have a right to protest, you don't have a right to obstruct other people's freedom of movement, and disrupt other people's lives as well. I saw a video where one guy said he came and he parked his car. He couldn't get through because the woman had blocked the road and he wanted to go. He was even getting frustrated and wanted to start throwing stones at them and all of that. So once again, by blocking the free movement of people and traffic and commerce and trade, they were wrong. Um, However, I think the president handled it correctly. Of course, we don't know. I don't know the details of what was going on, what they were aware of, and all of that. But I think he handled it correctly. He hasn't been in power for a month yet. To have sent police and other people in the street to start clashing with citizens, beating some people, throwing tear gas, etc., would have had a bad look. So I think the way he handled it, got them off the streets, agreed to some of their demands, told them he couldn't meet some of their demands. I listened to his statement he addressed to the nation after the situation. And he said when he met with them, he acceded to some of their demands, such as, oh, the school in the place they're paying too much money. Okay, we'll make the school free. And one or two other demands. The one demand he refused to agree to was to fire the Minister of National Defense. And so he told them he was not going to fire the Minister of National Defense. And then later, the Minister of National Defense came up and quit on his own. That is the explanation from the executive national. My question is, I agree with you. There should be investigation into this whole thing. For instance, why were they demanding the resignation or the removal of the Minister of National Defense? Why? I mean, we should know that he was chief of staff before he became Minister of National Defense. Did anything happen? Was there ever a friction between him and the soldiers before he was elevated to Minister of Defense? Does he know something? Because the president tells you no, stay. I'm not going to fight. The president said he met with him and he told him he was not going to remove the man. And the man insisted that for the sake of peace, he would go. Is there anything that happened under there that we still don't know? That is a question that needs to be answered. But I think that I don't think the president. I mean, the demonstrators did wrong, but I don't think the president caved in.
But why would you say that the demonstrator did not do wrong? These people are not. I don't see anything going on
No,
here.
no, I said no. They did wrong. I said they did wrong.
Oh, okay. I
I
thought you
said
said,
the demonstrators did wrong, but I
yeah.
don't think the president.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the demonstrators did wrong. I
I see
don't think
nothing
the
going on.
president did wrong. Yeah,
I know. I live in America. I know what protests look like. I
yeah.
see protests in the Arab world. I see protests in Europe.
Mm.
I see protests in Russia. I see protests. They think that protest, you come with copat on the road with cassava leaf and you start cooking.
Well, look,
Yeah, so
Volcano,
I think the
let me just
president
provide
handled
some
it
background
well. Now let me
information
quickly
for
finish.
Alfonso.
Hold,
Alfonso, let me
Let
hold
me
on,
just give you a
quickly
hold on,
little bit,
conclude.
of background
hold
Moses,
on.
information.
Moses, just
Yeah.
wait. You want to
Moses,
finish up. Alfonso, go
let
ahead.
me
Okay. Oh,
conclude
okay.
here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know you talk. I know Moses talk about other people trying to protest and wanting to protest. That's understandable. It's even good that we are now learning about people who are trying to protest. Maybe that would give the president and his administration and his people the opportunity to engage with those people before it actually results into protest. I mean, there can be outside forces trying to push them. Maybe that's the case. That's what other people are suggesting. But to be honest, a lot of the people are legitimately frustrated. We all know that before the election, during the entire election period, these people didn't get paid.
All right.
So it's they're frustrated. It's good that the president now knows that he can go and engage with them and quench the fire, so it doesn't even result into protest.
So
And
Shaki McCaffrey is saying here there's no special way to protest. You disagree with me. Go bring your flat screen TV, bring your couch on the car row, and lay back if you flipping your remote and say you protesting by blocking the road, right? Do that.
yeah.
And let me call with my front end loader if I clear you off the road.
Well, look.
Protest, protest must have meaning, right?
Yes.
Don't come
Yes.
here and come put your flat screen TV or bring your copa, start cooking, and you say you protesting.
Actually, there is a way to protest. The way to protest is do not obstruct other people's freedom of movement.
Freedom of movement. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You
Yeah.
know,
So, Alfonso, let me give you some background information. The women went out there to protest against General Johnson uh, under the allegation that when he was chief of staff,
Mhm,
he was insensitive to the plight of their husbands, meaning soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia.
mhm,
They said they live in housing units that are poorly maintained. They complain about their husbands' needs are not being met, medical and other needs. They claim that General Johnson and the others who make up the hierarchy of the military look the other way. And let's be honest here. The problem these ladies spoke about yesterday, these are not problems that came 3 weeks ago. These are problems that President Boaka inherited.
mhm.
Okay? So when I say if I were the president, I would not have caved in, this is where I would be coming from. And Alfonso, three of us here are parents. It's like you go home and you tell your 7-year-old who comes to you, say, "Hey, Dad, can I watch television?" And he said, "No, you got some schoolwork. Go and sit, you know, in your room and do your schoolwork." And the kids come out, start flipping things around in the house, putting up tantrums, and now you turn around and say, "Oh yeah, come." You know why? You don't have to do your work. Once you do that the first time, you have taught this kid that whenever he or she wants his or her way, he or she should put up a tantrum, exhibit some negative behavior. At the end, you were caving. And that's what Mr. Boaka and his leaders did yesterday. They gave, they set a condition, they demonstrated to the world that whenever you want your way, you want things to be done your way in Liberia, all you need to do, set up road barricades, cause confusion, your national leaders were caving. Let's even go by before he came. You saw what happened at the Capitol, right? You saw the legislative staff uh, 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 from the Senate wing. That was also an inappropriate behavior. Yes, we agree government is indebted to you. We agree there are needs that were not being met by the administration. That does not in any way mean that you should barricade the entrance or entrances to the legislature. What happened? The leadership of the Senate caving. They paid them some of the money. The confirmation hearings for the two nominated officials, those confirmation hearings were all canceled. And there are several examples of people showing up in the street, making demands, and our national leaders caving. In leadership, sometimes you make some difficult decisions. You make decisions that people won't like, but you need to look at the pros and the cons of whatever decision that you make. In the situation yesterday, someone would say, "Oh well, Mr. Barker saved the day. Had it not been that things would have gotten out of control." Uh, Alphonso, Volcano, you and I, we grew up in Liberia. What those people did yesterday would not have happened under a Charles Taylor leadership. What those people did yesterday would not have happened when Samuel Doe was president of the Republic of Liberia. That was absolutely wrong. That was challenging the authority of the presidency. And you come, you demand. The president met with their representatives. He said, "Look, this is off the table." When they met with him, he said, "Hey, you're calling for resignation? You're calling for dismissal? This is off the table." They go by, they come, they say, "Oh, well, our husbands have told us unless this is done, there will be no Armed Forces Day celebration in Liberia." Look, there's a commander in Liberia. That situation would have been handled. All the president needed to do, address the nation, give an ultimatum. You have the next 1 hour to leave the street. If not, I will give directive for intervention. That situation would have been resolved. Someone would say, "Oh, well, General Johnson voluntarily resigned." Look, my man, that's euphemism. General Johnson was coerced. The president won't come and say, "I asked the man for his resignation." No. General Johnson wants to be Minister of Defense, and he wanted to be Minister of Defense. They asked for his resignation as a means of resolving that problem. And that's a real bad precedent the president said yesterday. I know this is debatable. People have different
I
perspectives.
also think before
Yeah.
Alfonso says something, I wanted to say,
Yeah, go ahead, Alfonso.
I don't care that AFL decided not to hold a program. They just save some money for the
Yes.
government. Now, even the Armed Forces Day program say it has no meaning and significance. You got 2,000 men and we can't even see them. We ain't even put them to test yet. The real one that was there, Downtown, they put them to test, Rebel beat them. Okay? And then they're talking about the fall for the country. They're very military. What fight? They not fight for Liberia. That they come in here, they can't do all the kind of thing. That also. They're very military. They're military that in military now. Have they fought for Liberia? Has there been war since 2003? So we even put 2,000 men into test yet. And then what they're talking about here, they have sweat, they have killed, they die for the country, they're defending the country. Okay, we got an army. Agree, we have an army. But there's a better way to do things.
Absolutely. I agree, Volcano.
Go ahead, Alfonso.
I totally agree. I think I said that earlier. That's a better way to do it. What they did was wrong. They violated other people's rights. They actually made business people and other poor people lose money yesterday by shutting the economy down, which was wrong. They gave the country a bad image as well. I saw a statement issued by the U.S. Embassy, for example, which I really felt bad that an embassy would be all involved in issuing a statement like that. But that's
Yeah.
because of where we are in our situation. Having said so, though, what I'm saying is that I do not think that the president caved in. Moses, president might. It's possible the president could have.
Alfonso, you're more legal minded. And they were supposed to get permission from the government before staging the protest.
Well, so
How well we know that, right? Isn't that the Constitution? Isn't that what the Constitution said?
Yeah, so you have
well,
to ask
the reason the Constitution acts, the reason the law asks for protest, permission is not. So it's not permission. It's not permission for you to protest.
It's
Is
to elect them.
it so that they can provide security and make
Security.
sure you're not disrupting other people, you're not blocking road, they gave you a place, that's it. But you already have the right to protest. They'll tell you, say, okay, you want protest, but the other car got to pass. So you stay on the side so the other people that going to school can go to school, up and go to
And
work.
you know, Alfonso, you know, I was so nervous. I'm saying I'm supposed to be going to Liberia soon, and they kind of nonsense. And then you say you're coming back on your flight, and if people block the little one way to Rawafi, my man.
What do
Yeah.
you do?
What you do?
And in
And
fact,
it will
look,
be detrimental to you because it's at your expense.
Mhm.
You
Volcano,
didn't get to the airport.
Volcano, please let me just buttress the point you made, right? And that is something that because it's not in the public domain, a lot of people don't know about it. Do you know the number of Liberians that missed their flights yesterday?
Yeah. And
The
on
extra
Sunday,
money that those people have to pay?
and on Sunday too. As anyway, on Sunday, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
You get a group of people shut down the entire economy.
And right after elections, right after the inauguration, and we've seen the sentiments. People are coming. Here's a guy called Robert Friedman or Freeman who met with the president. Investors are trying to come in now.
Yeah.
And you start doing this kind of nonsense. You call yourself military. You asking for support. Is that a way to go about it? My
mhm,
concern here, Alfonso, and you can
mhm,
weigh in on my concern.
mhm, mhm.
Why didn't the hierarchy of the military try to meet with the new president? I'm just
Yeah.
thinking out to myself that they
Mhm,
had to go behind the curtain and
mhm.
send the women out as pawn.
Yeah. What I would say is that the president set up a committee, and if you listen to his
I'm
update,
talking about prior to all this crap.
yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. And what he said in that address to the nation, something he said that was very interesting to me, is that the committee that was set up will investigate the people and identify the soldiers who were discharged from the military because of misbehavior and then were re-enlisted into the military. So I think he's being methodical here. He's identifying a group of people who he thinks are the troublemakers there. So this investigative team will establish that, and people will be held accountable. People will be removed, and people will be held accountable. That's what I pick up from that aspect of his statement. Could he have sent police people to go clash with the people and go beat them all over the country or in the places where they were? Maybe they could have done that, but would that have been the right thing to do? Maybe not. Like, I don't think they were. What were they? Were they only just in front of the BDC? No,
They
I
were
heard
Now
they
they
we're
were.
were
the way shuffling,
Yeah,
Cardwell shuffling, Cardwell,
Caldwell,
Volcano, all those
Shuffling.
places.
I
Yeah.
heard they were in other
okay,
places,
the
Hmm.
way Grand G there.
in
Hmm.
other counties as well.
Yeah.
So, given the way they were spread out and coordinated, maybe the way to have handled it was to calm the situation and then methodically go and deal with the people who are caused the situation. Because by the time, God forbid, you send people to Sheffield and start removing people, then the people to BDC start throwing stones, and the other people start, then confusion happens. Maybe that's why the president was looking at. But I believe, Moses, I agree, people should be held accountable, and I hope the investigative team is able to establish that so that people can be held accountable for what happened yesterday because it was disruptive.
And this
Yeah.
is the man I was talking about that met with the president,
Okay.
the investor who came in the country, I think, on a $5 billion proposal. And
Okay.
let me give credit to Spoon TV. I took this from
Mm.
the page. Um,
The
and
HPX, the
yeah,
HPX people. Yeah.
yeah, the HBS people. Um, so this was the delegates that came to meet with the president. So imagine something like this, and soon as you leave, and say, "Oh, man, don't
Yeah.
even
The
go over
country is
there."
in
Oh.
flames. Yeah.
Yeah, the people they ain't ready. Oh, you know,
Yeah. You know,
you
you
tell
you
me.
store the entire economy because of your selfish motive.
So Moses, quickly,
Yeah.
what does the government do next time something like this happens? Now we know that it's in the pike. The president is out of the country, Maybe he's using this occasion to talk to his counterpart to see if there's any support, some kind of way to address the issues. But what if you're trying to put fire here all here and fire starts here because another group, like you said, MCSS teachers decided to do that?
to do the
What
same
then
thing.
should the president do the next time something like this happens? I want to hear from you and I want to hear from Alfonso.
Okay, what I would say if
And let's be brief.
yeah, what I would say is that if the government is giving prior notice, let the president and others who make up the leadership let these people not be reactive. Let them be proactive in dealing with situation. You innovate. You do everything you can to contain the situation. Now, if you do everything to contain the situation, and some people, choose to become law unto themselves. Look, there are several other things that you can do to contain the situation than physically attacking people. You just have to exert your authority. If somebody chooses to be outside of the law is the law, and you hold those people accountable, regardless of where they come from. That's what we need in our country. Do not appease people who break the law. When you do that, you encourage people to break the law more. That's what I'm saying.
Alfonso, what should the government do the next time something like this fall on his doorstep?
I think right now that what the government should be doing right now, not even wait until these things happen, because we already know that the country is on edge right now. And people are frustrated. They don't have food. They haven't gotten paid for months. Mr. Weah, before the election, decided not to pay people 2, 3 months. Now President Barker has taken over and the people are struggling. Moses is saying that there's news out there that other groups of people might want to
Yeah,
protest.
we'll be protesting as
I
well.
think the president and his administration should be proactive. I think the next thing the president should do is go back and address the nation and say, look, we just took over. We understand your plight. You haven't taken pay for XYZ months. You need to eat. Your children need to go to school or whatever. We are working on it. I'm making trips. I'm talking to people. We're trying to get money to pay people. So be calm and we'll deal with it. We'll deal with your situation. If it even requires meeting with certain groups of people, I think you should do that. You be proactive. You take the air out of the balloon before it even gets to the point of popping. I think that's what it should do.
I agree.
So on the whole issue, then we can say that even though Moses said the president caved in, and you say that the president acted well, is that
Yeah,
the conclusion? So we can go to
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Reverend.
debatable.
I
Yeah.
think the president acted prudently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much. Let's go to memory lane, and
Uh,
then whatever country is this? It's after 9. Um, we've been here for 2 hours now.
mhm.
So let me check to see what Dr. Sumo sent. Um,
Volcano,
yeah,
can you just give me 2 seconds, please?
do that.
Okay. Look, what I wanted to say, and maybe you guys may have discussed it today.
Hold
Uh,
on, what topic you bringing here?
the current situation in Liberia, the president is in Ghana. The vice president is in Nigeria attending the inaugural program of one of the state governors. So we have the two senior executives out of the country. The minister of state is running the country in collaboration with other people. Is this unusual in the history of Liberian political governance? Have you ever seen this? That the two senior officials leave the country, and leave the country in the hands of, junior officials to run there?
No,
Have
no,
you ever
Yeah.
seen
it
that?
happened before. Yeah, it happened
It
before.
happened to who?
It happened during we had time. It's happened.
Where did we all go and Joel wasn't in the country?
But
For
I
for,
don't even think I don't
for
even
the 8 days, we have other countries. Joel left also.
do I went to Ghana or something, Nigeria. So, but that's not. I
It
don't think
happened.
that is even an issue, though. I don't think that should be an issue at all, Moses. The
Moses, I don't
minister
want
of
to open
state,
a new conversation, my man.
yeah,
Please.
ministers have always acted, even while the vice president was in the country. The minister of state was the one mostly that still ran the government and the country. So I don't think
No,
it's good.
normally when the president travels, the president doesn't leave,
But
the
Moses,
country in the hands of the vice president.
Moses,
The minister of state,
you
in
asked the question.
collaboration with the vice president,
You
runs
asked
the
the question.
affairs.
You asked the question,
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
All right. So my take here is that the activity that what's his name went for, Jeremiah Kuhn was planned, and he
Mm-hmm.
went to that. The president impromptu trip or a quick trip to Ghana may be as a result of the prevailing circumstances in the country. The people have put a litany of issues before him. The government only got $20.5 million and so no money. Let me go talk to some of my counterparts out there to see how
Yeah,
I
sure,
can
man.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me go
Okay.
talk to some of my counterparts out there. So Jeremiah Kuhn being out there, he's not running the country. Even if he's back, he's still not running the country. The president designates who he wants to stay in charge when he leaves. So whether Jeremiah Kuhn is in or out is ceremonious. The most important thing, there's some destiny on the grounds, and they said that the president will be communicating via phone to stay in touch with the day-to-day affairs of the country. So yes, it's not uncommon. It's something that can happen. But let's go to memory lane. Memory lane. Dr. Manisumo says here, do not rush to judgment. First, take a closer look. Do not rush to judgment. First, take a closer look. Long before they got there, they prayed. They fasted many times and prayed. They tried every medical means, but all failed. This family wanted a child, just one child. They cried to God. Bless us with a child, they prayed. They prayed without ceasing. Finally, the couple decided to adopt a dog. They named the dog Gracie. Gracie grew up to be a very smart dog. She was like a human dog that served in many capacities. Gracie was well loved and she brought peace and love to the family. As it is written in the Bible, there's time for everything under the sun, a time to born, a time to die. Fortunately, God blessed the couple. They finally had a child. They brought forth a girl and they named her Grace. Gracie, the human dog, was very happy when Grace was born, so she took over the care of Grace. Gracie helped fed and put cover over Grace. She slept in the same bed or crib with Grace. Grace did almost every care for Gracie did almost every care for Grace. The couple even left Grace in the care of Gracie and ran short errands. Sadly, one day, after returning home from the short errand, they could not find Grace in her bed. Just in that time, Gracie walked over to greet them, and she was licking her mouth all covered with blood. Immediately, the couple concluded that Gracie had eaten Grace. Enraged, they beat Gracie to death. As Gracie was crying and taking her last breath, they heard Grace crying underneath the bed. When they rushed there, they found Grace well and unharmed. Besides, Grace was a huge dead cobra snake. Gracie had fought and killed the snake that wanted to swallow Grace. Before then, they realized that the blood on Gracie's mouth was the blood of the dead snake. What the saddest moment. They have killed their should be first child and best friend, the friend that brought happiness to them. They have killed a friend who God used to give them a child. They have allowed anger and poor judgment to cause them to make a quick but ugly decision. They have killed the best friend they ever had. Folks, think about it. Today, yesterday, meaning, is Armed Forces Day in Liberia. Armed Forces Day, and we haven't yet say thank you to the brave men and women in arms who sacrificed their lives for us. Did we rush to judgment to agree with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that the AFL raped her? And for this reason, history teaches us that she melted nothing but hatred. I think he meant to say meted nothing but hatred against the AFL. And lo, I remembered Ellen Johnson Sirleaf saying, after the AFL paid her a visit at her office to appeal for the salary and pay benefits, she and I quote, "You tell my husband them that I will send their food later." Are we afraid to say that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf revenge on the AFL for overthrowing her True Party government in which she served as then finance minister until 1980 coup? Did we join Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to beat the AFL to death? Happy Armed Forces Day to all the great men in arms and to all Liberians. A coming peace. So this one he wrote for Armed Forces Day celebration yesterday. But again, thank you, Manan, for this piece. Let's go into what type of country is this? And what type of country is this? You got a bunch of women just wake up from bed, put on army cap and red t-shirt, carrying pot, cassava leaf, palm butter, coal, bag of rice, rubber pan, gallon of water, and just block the road and start cooking. And they say they're protesting. What type of country is this?
Acting the rebels as well. What type of country is this? Sitting on top of car hood.
Oh yeah, the other guy. I was looking for that
Yeah.
picture. She holding a stick.
Yeah,
Gun.
pretending to be a weapon.
Yeah. Can you
You know?
imagine?
I mean, what type of country is this that women we allow themselves to be used as objects? What type of country is this? What type of country is this that someone designated as or nominated as Minister of Justice is constantly moving from one location to another? They put a pause on his nomination, and now we learn that Councillor Kura is being moved to the Ministry of Labor. He has been replaced by another councillor called Tue.
Yeah,
So what's the problem with Councillor Kura?
But is it
Yeah.
a must that the minister got to come from Nima County? And we got vice president from there. What type of country is this?
The Prince Johnson slot, my man.
But who told you say that labor ministry is not an institute of or institution rather of integrity? That's
I'm telling you. So it's like and to buttress that point making Volcano is they make it appear like the Ministry of
just saying
Labor
that
is of no relevance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, George Weah, when that guy was there and pointed and put midnight on him, George Weah sent him to labor.
Yeah, Gibson, yeah.
Yeah.
You know. What type of country is there that when you are rejected, they send you to the Ministry of Labor? You see the lady?
Yeah.
We're in 2024 and the ladies are taking us back to 1989, my man.
Yeah, 1990, 2003. Look at her.
Okay.
Holding stick in the form of gun.
What type of country is there that women take pride in being rebels?
What type of country? What type of country is this?
What type of country is there where you drive you on the bridges, my man, you holding your breath? So, my man, you take down before that bridge come from airport.
Shaggy McCaffrey, what type of country is this that people are now empowered by their cowardly husbands to interrupt a national holiday?
Yeah.
What type of country is this? What type of country is this? A bunch of women gather in the street having country coke and they call it a protest. I like that. That country coke.
What type of country is it when you're going to protest, you carry your copa with you?
You got all the affair. You want to make sure you eat your gun.
You carry your oil, everything with you.
Oh God. What type of country is this? From Livingstone, that after protesting for days, they come the next day to apologize for what they did. That means that there was not a protest. You see, that buttress my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not protest. You will protest, you apologize. Now
Yeah,
they know what
politics.
they know what the investigation going to find, and they're getting afraid.
They
Seriously,
try to cut their hair.
yeah. Thomas
Oh,
Awaji, what type of country is this where the military men use the women to do their dirty work?
yeah, whatever.
Christopher
Whatever.
Wesley, what type of country is this that women start to drive investors by so-called protests?
Yeah, Christopher, you are right. What type of country is this that you got a representative who is now asking the Baptist Church to expel President Joseph Boakai from the church?
Oh,
Representative Yeke Koluba.
oh, he said that you expect Baga from Ever Baptist Church?
Yeah, he said that she expelled the man because he's a dishonest man. Can you imagine? My man Yeke is sick.
What type of country is this? Shaggy McCaffrey hashtag that you can teach old dog new tricks. They are replacing gun with sticks.
Yeah, what type of
That
country?
picture brings negative flashback of the 1990s, the Octopus, April 6th, and World War II,
Of course.
etc.
What type of country is this? What what type of country is this that the current Senate has not rejected any nominee?
Oh, but here's the one. Listen to this one. It's very important. What type of country is this that a general will cave into women?
Yeah,
Give her a position. So
the
that
commander in
means,
chief.
oh man, so
Yeah,
that means,
general. Yeah, the general,
the
chief
general
former chief of
knows,
staff.
yeah. That means if the war will drive it, pick up a uniform and
Yeah,
run.
yeah, I will call. How we used to say in Liberian say when somebody gave it.
They may give it. So what type of country is this that a whole general will cave into women protests? Eh?
The message for the peace of the country. Oh.
No, the other piece of the country is general scared. They're not real general.
If I read the whole operation, no, but man, Volcano, my man, politely they told the man, my man, I need a resignation no later than 12 o'clock.
I don't real general can't run away from protest, man. You can't resign from protest. No, not real general there, man. When I see general who said they were trying to fool him so he can go overthrow.
Overthrow, yeah.
When I see general, that general got controversy, my man. Let that general go. What type of country is this when the president says Liberian rather Liberian people 2 weeks advocate people? Manisumo. Old man Nangbe West Point. What type of country is this where the people want to see development in 21 days?
I tell you, what type
Amen.
of country is this, my
And
man?
they sat on there for 6 years and burial.
Yeah.
Long years.
In 21 days, they want
Yeah,
Joseph Baga to
yes.
perform miracle.
Shaggy McCaffrey, what type of country is this that a 3-star retired general and minister of defense can run away from protests? What does he have in his closet that he must be afraid for us to know?
Yeah, what type of country is this?
That's a good point, Shaggy.
What type of country is this that
What
the
type of
women
country
say?
is,
Eh?
what
What
type
type of country is this that the women of the AFL soldiers say they have no privacy?
yeah.
So they want the minister of defense to go because they don't have privacy. All their kids are in the one room that everybody. Our part of people demand no.
Which virus is throughout?
That's shuffling.
Yeah, the military barrier shopping, people say.
Yeah.
They say, oh, our kids, everyone, in one room, no privacy.
But even when they went out there to rent a one room, I know the same thing. That's a common thing. Bangu man, what type of country is this that defense minister resigned when army women protest without weapons? I like that. Can you imagine? No weapon.
Yeah. The women just job the man, my man, the man girl.
The women cooking cassava and palm butter. They say the protest. I want to scare the man. Man say for the sake of
Man girl, man.
I mean, I'm correct, General.
Yeah, just look at the whole operation and say, damn, they think that people ready.
No gun inside, but what type of country is this? Shaggy McCaffrey that the government would not ban copper, stove, bag of rest, and sausages during protests.
What type of country is this?
Well, man, what type of country is this? Prince Johnson just complaining for a minute.
Yeah,
Prince Johnson say nobody taking a phone calls again. Oh.
He said during the campaign, every 5 minutes,
Yeah,
Prince. Now calling Baga again, gang.
He said every 5 minutes, he said he called it. But this time when I called, my calls don't go through.
But Moses, what type of country is this, man? In Sumo, when the president addresses the military, that
He will
he was
send
sent. Oh, I think he meant to say he was sent
the full
the full
money
money
later.
labor. The full money protest. Oh.
yeah.
People say they want the food, yeah. They want to make sure they get all the paychecks from me.
The full money protest that people having. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? You got that whole idea of General Johnson should be not be Minister of Defense or should be recalled. I don't think that the whole idea. They just want. My man Boga also arranged call Joe Hadassah. My man carry 500 bag of rest to the barrel there. Other people then go by inside.
Let them clear the way for me.
Thomas Awaji, what type of country is this where the women protesting and drinking club beer on the side of the road?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking?
Yeah. The people say they're protesting about the drinking beer. Where the beer coming from?
Then Shaki saying that there's no special way to protest. There is a special way to protest. If you come in to protest with beer bottle in your hand, I should take you seriously.
Yeah, you know, make fun.
Yeah.
Because when you are faced with hardship, you don't come with beer. You
Gabriel Daniels, what type of country is this when the army is no more considered in Noko?
and Noko. That's how we used to call them in the 70s and 80s or the Noko. Yeah.
What type of country is this? Where foreign minister doesn't have bachelor's degree, but she will confirm with a master's degree.
Mm-hmm. What type of country is this? That Delon. Yeah, but man, Delon then let La Pura down, man.
What type of country is this? Old man Nangbe West Point, where the government will pay the military and pay their wives. In what country do we see this happening?
What type of country is this?
What type of country is this? PYJ wants JMB to follow the government with positions from people of people
From Nima.
County, with people from Nima County.
Yeah.
All Prince Johnson always.
Of course, bring one absolute control. It is not going to be like that. It is true that they supported the process, but this cannot be about Nimba.
Yeah.
No, it cannot.
They're already checking Baga's nomination from Lofao. They've been checking with their fingers.
Yeah. Prince said they only gained 2 cabinet ministers from Nimba, so he wants more.
Well, somebody was sent to learn some minds today. Remember, so.
Gentlemen, we got 6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
What type of country is this that Yeke Koluba say he will run for the president? He will run to be president in 2029.
Oh, okay. He said that.
Do you want a president Yeke Koluba?
What type of country is this, Shaggy McCaffrey, that you can have to tell Prince Johnson to relax more? And you government, wait, relax more.
Yeah, he said, Papa, I told you, relax. What type of country is this, my man? Yeah.
What type of country is this? A whole representative who's supposed to be well-rounded. They generally ask him question. He said, my man, wait more. All that thing you were talking, I don't even understand anything.
I don't understand. Now you can't call about. He said, my man, wait. All that thing is talk, I understand nothing.
What type of country is this, Thomas Awaji, where every time war crime is mentioned, Prince Johnson gets mad?
Like me on a nightmare, but he said that time enter the city and saw the boss see me, the lawyer said, bring walk like go.
What type of country is this, Shaggy McCaffrey? That EPS let a stranger walk up to JMB and grab him from behind. What type will come there and say nothing can happen anywhere. Serious.
Can you imagine, man?
Protection.
The president is in a gathering and they got somebody from nowhere come and say, "Oh, the man is a diehard loyalist of the Unity Party." Really? You compromise the security of the president, they say the man is a diehard loyalist?
So they allow him to grab the bit.
Yeah, but man, we are jokers, man. I'm telling you, man. The way how people do things, it can be too weird. You know? You know what it means to be president? Wow. Shit. I know some of you guys remember when Grady was Minister of Defense. I still remember when we used to be on Benson Street. When a guy is coming from the defense ministry, they used to block Center Street and they would block Lane Street.
Wow.
At that time, his vehicle, his convoy, everything said, Gray will come and get in his vehicle after he leaves before they remove the roadblock.
Oh, wow.
Yes. That's how powerful the late Grady Addison was. And you got one stranger coming from nowhere to go touch the president, and then you say the man is a diehard loyalist. And the people are jokers, man.
Alphonso.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you may yo. He said, my man, wait.
Listen.
My man.
Be a reflective
Listen.
vacuum in terms of your nominals, applications.
My man, slow down. All the people are not understand because you get me from me.
Be a reflective vacuum in terms of your nominals, applications.
My man, slow down. All the people are not understand because you get me from me.
Be a reflective vacuum in terms of your nominals, applications.
My man, slow down. All the people are not understand because you get me
Just listen
from me.
to
Be a
journalist.
reflective vacuum in terms of your
Yeah, girl.
nominals, applications.
My man, slow down. All the people are not understand because you get me from me.
Yeah, even before me. He
In
said,
terms of your nominals, applications.
My man, slow down. All the people are not understand because you get me from me.
so the man is saying your there's a vacuum of your nomenclature or something.
Yeah.
The guy putting all the words together, my man. You can say, slow down.
Slow down. I understand what you say.
You can say, don't bring you bother to me. Slow down, my man.
I can understand all the people English speaking.
Yeah.
Representative.
Man, I don't know how to guys.
A reflective vacuum in terms of your
Ask a man a
nominals,
very simple
The
question.
reflective vacuum. You're listening. You're getting
I know what you call reflective vacuum.
Jose, I'm begging you. Listen, let's get this thing. Let not be like Yeke. Let's get it.
a
Yeah.
reflective vacuum in terms of your nominals, applications.
My man, slow down.
I don't know
All
why
the
you
people
call
are not understand because you get me from me.
Reflective vacuum in terms of your nominals. What does it
My man, slow down. All the people are not understand because you get me from me.
A reflective vacuum in terms of
Now,
your
what in the background
nominals,
say,
My man, slow down. All the people are not understand because you get me from me.
be a reflective vacuum in terms of your nominals, applications.
My man, slow down. All the people are not understand.
That begin went specifically for Yeke Koluba.
Is that where the control?
Begin went for Yeke. He said, I'm feeling. Hey, let's talk in plenty.
Let me give you
Nah, like journalists, they will gotta say with you.
But
So they make you
reflective
to all
vacuum.
over because I think that's best. I'm having difficulty understanding what you are saying.
The reflective vacuum of your espesquese,
Yeah.
nominal espesquese.
You can say, my man, slow down. Because I think you try understand nothing.
All that big English you speaking, I don't understand. No, your nominal vacuum of the reflective vacuum of your
Reflective vacuum.
nominal
reflective vacuum
I don't know why you
became
call
nominal.
reflective vacuum.
Well, that your journalism.
Reflective vacuum.
Of your nominal
Your
aspect.
nominals.
So you
Alright,
can say what teaching the
Moses,
man English. Oh.
Moses, let's do it one more time so we can go. But don't say nothing. I'm begging you. Let it play for two times. Let hear it begin. Listen, begging you. Don't say nothing again. I beg you. I hold you for. I hold you for. Silence.
Be a reflective vacuum in terms of your nominals applications.
Slow down. All the things I don't understand because you get uniform.
Be a reflective vacuum in terms of your nominals applications.
Slow down. All the things I don't understand because you get uniform.
Tell you, my man.
Yeka. Well, now one I give it to Yeko. I agree with you 100%.
I don't want more you go around.
Even I must say, as a student of communication, I know what I'm talking about.
I'm speaking Latin. You're
Reflective
reflecting vacuum of your nominals, nomenclature.
Nominal. He said nominal what?
Advocacy. I don't know, advocacy. Advocacy, you were trying to say.
Advocacy, you were trying to say.
Your reflective vacuum.
Of your nominals, advocacy.
So what does he call reflective vacuum?
Well, that y'all would define it. The method is
So, yeah, we go.
Jesus, my
What
man.
type of country is this? Vahum mended man. When Liberian citizens still peeping on the streets, mainly on Broad Street in front of the Foreign Ministry building.
What type of country is this?
But man, they got Foreign Ministry building on
So
Broad
foreign
Street.
ministry on Broad Street now?
Or you meant to say finance. The finance, I think that meant.
or maybe foreign ministry is
No.
I say LU, right?
Yeah, no, that's the bypass.
So that
Vahum man is still
No,
in
I think what you meant to say is
Finance.
people being on Broad Street and
front of
in
the
front
finance.
of the
Of
foreign
the
you see is
finance.
combined.
No, in front of the finance. That's what he meant to say, finance ministry, which is on Broad Street. But Vahum man is in Lofa. He not in Montreal. He no Montreal.
No, but if
Let's leave it.
that
Someone
Yeke
Livingston
Koluma
say,
hasn't
what
declared
type
his
of country
asset.
is this? That Yega Koluba hasn't declared his asset, but he demanded the president to declare his assets.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Yeke should lead by example. So honorable Yeke Koluma waiting to see where you got to declare.
He said, only Thomas Awaji can understand that kind of English from the journalist.
How many men?
Shaggy McCaffrey said, Yeke say, slow down. I don't understand anything you say.
Yeke was upset, my man, for the journalist.
Yeah.
Man, I think you're doing so. You're taking me off track, but slow
What
down.
country is this that the journalist tried to trap Yeke, but Yeke escaped the trap? You got my man. All you just need to say, my man, slow down. I don't understand the English you're speaking.
Yeah.
The reflective vacuum of your nominals advocacy.
I know what I meant called reflective. We named that man the journalist of the year.
Reflective vacuum.
We tell the Aja people to invite a man to America for the convention. Let him be the keynote speaker.
They will not understand a single word that man will use it.
Yeah, reflective vacuum.
Reflective vacuum.
Thank you.
Of your nominals advocacy.
Thank you, Omen Nambe Westport. A nice show, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah, gentlemen, we'll be back here Friday by the grace of God. I'd like to thank all of you for coming tonight. Let me just run down this list. I know you guys want to go. I can let you go quick. Let me just run down the list. Alphonso, I know you want to go. Moses, let me just run down this list. I'd like to give credit to my folks who spent their good evening here with us. So, Let me go back to the queue. All right. So let's say thank you for joining us here, Raymond Clark, tonight. Joining us here on the show. Adiaha Umo, Manisumo, Christopher Wesley. Thank you, Thomas Awaji, as usual. Emmanuel Jackson for coming here tonight. Lamitai, thank you. Flumo Livingstone, of course. Shaggy McCaffey, always good to see you, my brother. It's been a while. We'll catch up one of these days, I'm sure. Vahu Mende Man, good to see you, my man. Thank you. Kwangba Do Wesen, Mega Sozo, top general in Nemo. Thank you for joining us here. Gabriel Daniels, always good to see you. Adolphus McCritty, it was good having you come through, my brother, to share with us your perspective on national infrastructure in the country, particularly our bridges. Old Man Nangwe West Point, thank you for joining us here. Come back again. We'll be here Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jema Cisco, good to see you tonight. Been a while. Good to see you come back. Steam Bonke, always good to see you. You are supposed to check on something for me. Hopefully you're still looking. I'll try to catch up with you so you can share with me your findings. Again, thank you everyone for showing up here tonight. We appreciate your viewership. We look forward to seeing you folks here on Friday. God's willing. Volcano Shelton on behalf of Alphonso Yenu and Moses Sandy. Have a good night to all you wonderful people.